Now to the worsening refugee crisis. The United Nations saying more than 1.5 million people have fled Ukraine since the war started. World leaders are now trying to ramp up and organize relief efforts. ABC's Marcus Moore is live in Poland with more. Marcus, good morning.
Well, Whit, good morning. The head of the UN Refugee Agency says that this refugee crisis is the fastest growing crisis in Europe since World War II. And overnight, we watched as a stream of families arrived here at this train station. And this morning, they are charting their next steps.
This morning, the desperate flight of refugees from Ukraine intensifying. Families flocking to train stations in a last-ditch effort to escape. Many of the displaced are women, children, and the elderly, all forced to flee as Russia steps up its bombardment in Ukraine. America's top diplomat touring the neighboring countries of Ukraine, on a stop in Moldova, praising the country for taking in scores of refugees.
We admire the generosity, the hospitality, the willingness to be such good friends to people who are in distress.
And visiting a Polish welcome center where some 3,000 refugees are taking shelter.
We are taking action together to support Ukrainians and to punish Russia for what it is doing.
In just 1 week since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, more than 1.5 million people have fled the country, according to the UN. More than half of those refugees entering neighboring Poland.
All day we have seen a steady stream of families coming here, go into the tent, and then they go on into Poland. The president said that these refugees will be welcomed here in this country with open arms.
We traveled to the Polish countryside and met Maxim Harbus, using his wedding venue to house more than 40 refugees.
For now, it's like 21 families. If we will don't do that, then where these families will go?
And as refugees pour out, more humanitarian relief groups are heading in. Samaritan's Purse airlifting an emergency field hospital for setup inside Ukraine in the coming days.
Here in Ukraine, we know that there's a surgical need and a trauma need. We have doctors and nurses that come all over the world that want to love their neighbor and to serve those that are hurting.
So many are hurting across the region here, and the families who we've met have said that they simply want a peace and for the fighting to stop in their country. And as we have met people who are leaving, Gio, we've also seen so many who are going into the country, into Ukraine, to be closer to family or to join the fight. Gio.
Impossible to not be affected by those images. Marcus Moore in Poland. Marcus, thank you. Just a reminder, tune into This Week. Later this morning, George Stephanopoulos speaks exclusively with the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, plus Senate Intelligence Committee Chair Marco Rubio on the latest efforts to support Ukraine.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.